Check.
Checking.
Check it 1, 2, 3.
I can't
Test.
see my trains.
Test.
So I first heard this song, not Haze.
That's embarrassing. Start over.
Let's take it back.
When we originally talked, you were like, I just see this as like a fast, like rock song. Mm-hmm. And when I was spending time with the lyrics and just like going through everything, I'm like, no, this is a contemplative, the words and the meaning and I wanted the message to be clear. And I think that's the hard part with some of our faster songs is like, because you're going through the lyrics, there's no time to contemplate what you're singing or reading. And this one just felt like it needed more intimacy than that. It needed to be like this poetic, like the words were so poetic that I felt like the melodies needed to match that.
It has sort of this anti-narcissistic religious thing to it where who do we think we are that somehow God needs our beckoning, our invitation? And that's what started the idea was, how do I write a song or how do I write lyrics that are theologically sound but can be converted into something that is worshipfully meaningful and significant? When
you sent me the lyrics and I read through them, like one of the first images that came to mind was that old painting of Jesus at the door, and he's like knocking.
Yeah.
And it's just like every church had this That's painting. Right. And it's just like I stand at the door and knock, and all you have to do is let me in.
Behold, I stand at the door. And
sorry.
If any man hears
See,
my
I
voice,
told you, every church.
I love how Richard Rohr says this: God loves things by becoming them. Like, dude, that is like, I get chills thinking about that. And so what I do is when I let go of like theological, very, very traumatic theological constructs like hell as eternal conscious torment, I never once felt this rise in my being to say, oh, now I have a license to be licentious. No, I was like, I got to tell everybody about this love. This is the kind of love that transforms. It's not a love that is based in fear. It is a love that is based in, I want to be faithful to this God because I see the life and the world and the cosmos, and it's freaking beautiful, dude. It's beautiful. But I think beauty can coexist with chaos. And for me, that's what this song sort of represents, is we're calling people to step back from this viewpoint of God being somewhere out there and needing to be invited here through some prayer or whatever. No. It is simply saying, God, I know you're always and already here. Wake up in me. Set a fire in me. Turn the light on inside of me, God. Help me, because that's what I need. And that's where transformation takes place, man. And so that's what I hope the song captures. And that's what I hope we sing out when you get to that huge crescendo part, like I'm never alone. That is the always alreadiness of God. We are never alone.
This was one of my favorite arrangements that you did, especially after that first chorus when the guitars come in. What was your thought process in composing the music for this one? Because it correlates so well with kind of what I had like envisioned, and then you're just like, you took it to the next level on like capturing the message.
I always want to try to get a feeling for the song. So obviously you read the lyrics, but you don't want to spend too much time reading the lyrics because you want to have like this kind of vibe is what we called it for the first stage, is always like vibes. Let's try to put together a feeling. Let's try to make sure the song, the music itself fits with the lyrics. So where's that emotion? Is it coming up? Is it going down? How is it coming up between the chorus and the verse? Like, how do those things work out? But really, like, I had a little bit of a vibe going for it, like kind of the general BPM and feel and everything. With the acoustic, I started with that little doom, which I hope Chase can play this weekend.
He better.
No pressure.
No pressure, Chase. But that's what the song started with. But really, I didn't feel the vibe until we got the drums and the bass in. And you came in on that, and I was kind of like, I had a little kick snare pattern, but I didn't really have the like the totality of the drums figured out. And you came in with the like rim shots and hooked up the empty snare.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind when you?
Well, I think you're really good at, and you set the stage for all of the musicians when we're writing, like here's something that I really think I love, and it's like we can work with this, but this section, like, I'm not quite sure. Play it out, see what happens. And with our setup, we recorded drums first, so that's
Right there.
Yep, that's
I was right there.
That's the spot.
Rick was right there.
Yep. And so I was the first one playing to the scratch that you hadn't recorded, and right when it drops into that instrumental, that was the first thing I did. Like, this song was immediate.
Yeah.
It felt supernatural for me, and I think it's really cool and unique. But like when we get to the bridge and we get to the big expression of gratitude for the realization that we don't need to invite him, like that you had that built, and I loved it, and I like.
Not with the fills though.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel things out, but like the way you write instruments that aren't your natural state, like you don't
What are you
write.
saying? I'm not a drummer.
Well,
I play drums like a worship leader.
but I like when someone tells me how to play it, because if you just get how I'm going to play it, all the songs are going to start to sound the same.
Sure.
And I think in the bridge, I think when we do those catches and those big fills and those, like, you had that organ or synth part, the all
Yeah.
that
I think
cool
those are
stuff.
strings.
Was it strings?
Yeah,
Yeah.
little strings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to keep doing it because it wasn't natural for me. But now that's like it's locked in, it feels great. But I think it lends itself so well to the message of this song. Of like, it's like I can't hold it in now. Like the whole song is leading up to this realization in this moment and acceptance, and like I'm gonna live this out now.
Yeah.
Like this.
Well, and you keep catching it. It's like
Yeah.
it's so big that you have to stop.
Yeah.
And then you come back in
Yeah.
again. It's
But
like,
it's like you can't. You want to hold it in, but you can't. Like it's like I have to. There's there's no option.
yeah.
Like it's just this fantastic expression of gratitude at that
So
point.
cool. And it'd be awesome if we could say like, oh yeah, that was totally planned and orchestrated. It's not. Like a lot of times it's like you follow your intuition, you give space, like you say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. But like you recorded the drums, you hadn't even really played the drums on that song at all. And we sat here and 30 minutes later, we're done recording drums on that song.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
not like we sat there for days and
No.
toiled and whatever. It's like, okay, play something, and you played something. And Rick and I were both like, "Yep, that
the one."
That like you're like, is that too? No,
That's it.
That's it. Like just do it like that. But yeah, it's funny how when you get done and you ask the question like, how do you make the music fit the lyrics? How does the song all come together? A lot of it is like just trust the process, trust your intuition, like. Let people have the freedom, let them try things. When everyone's head is moving together and everyone's like, yeah, it's like you don't have to break down why this is working. It's like, it just trust it. Like, don't question it. Don't try to analyze it. We can do that now that it's done.
Yeah.
And the other big thing was when Evan came in, it was a big part for me. Him coming in and laying down the bass was like, he did these little walks and these little moves and these little chords. And it was like, boy, like really the rhythm section on that song just drives so much. And then your electric, you brought in the dotted eighth electric thing, which is like right in your wheelhouse.
I didn't want it. I said,
Yeah, he
take
gives
it
me the
out.
guitar part.
I was
and
like,
he's
I hate
"Take
this
it
part.
out."
Take it out. That's always my process, though. Anything I contribute, I want out. That's terrible.
I don't know. The keys sell this song for me.
Oh, Laura.
Laura killed it on this song.
Yeah. And we didn't, again, like I just had some basic chords in there and she came in and really like filled it out. And like crazy to see somebody that's as good as her. And, you know, obviously I've played with her a long time. She's my sister and she's a piano performance major. She's legit concert pianist. But when she came into the room, it's like different to have her in the studio.
Yeah.
And
Can I tell a quick story?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Just to piggyback off of this.
she's great.
She is great. She's my wife.
Killed it.
She's the best. But there was a moment. So I was in a lot of the recording sessions. And so Ryan being the producer and us being the musicians coming in, we followed Ryan's lead as far as like, I love this, I hate this, do this, don't do this. And so we're all like, okay, no problem. Laura, the older sister to Ryan, does not follow her little brother very well.
That was the most pushback I had on any session.
And you told her that.
Yeah.
And it was so funny to be a fly on the wall in the room because I'm like, I have my wife right here. I've got the producer. So it's like my brother-in-law and my wife. And I felt like I was just sitting back, just watching and just kind of laughing because I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut in this scenario. They've been
was the
doing
right
this
play.
their whole
And
lives.
Marissa was in here just hanging out.
And she was hanging out.
So
yeah.
she kind of softened everything nicely.
Yeah. But it was just so funny to see that like brother-sister dynamic as opposed to musician-producer dynamic. And it's like, part of me is like, let me remind the musician that he is the producer of the song and he has final say in what.
It's better for you to be quiet.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Stay quiet.
So I decided to stay quiet. But go ahead, Ryan. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I just
no,
wanted
I
to
was just
interject
saying,
with that funny little.
It was funny because it was Laura and I ran into this one point where there's this harmony on the bridge, and she's like, then she would hit this note, and I'm like, I wanted a half step down. Like you're doing the suspension of the note, which is raising the third a half step, and I really wanted to complete the chord. And she's like, no, that sounds so much less interesting. She's like, I'm trying to be like, it's so much more interesting. It's so much more creative. I'm like, yeah, but I don't love it. And she's like, so we went back and forth. And finally I'm like, look, you can sing it whatever you want. I have the ability to change that note. So if it makes you feel better to sing it that way, that's totally fine. But I promise you, in post-production, I'm going to take that note and I'm going to pull it down just a little bit until it's... so it was obviously we all in good fun.
But it's true for like most of the musicians. We come in and we want to like... There's almost like this need to prove how good of a musician we are. And we want to write these super complex parts. And
Big
like the
mistake.
main... Especially you.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. But that is one of the main roles of the producer is to be able to look at the song, the whole song, and look at it from that 30,000-foot view and say, okay, if everybody goes crazy and everybody does all these insane licks and piano runs and vocal runs, the song's just chaos. So it's like you have to have those moments that you can shine, but it can't be the whole time.
Well, and you also want it to be accessible. Like, we love this music. We wrote it for our congregation. But, like, these are messages that we think the world should hear and be able to express and play for themselves.
Whose phone is that?
Whose chair is this?
Caleb,
Ruining the take.
unbelievable.
For real? Boop. That was the first thing you said. Like, before we tracked a single thing, you were like, simple is the name of the game. Please.
Yes.
And then we write crazy stuff the whole way
Well,
through. And we're
it's-
just like, nope, that's too boring. Do that instead.
Well, luckily, like we started from that vantage point because if we hadn't, good
Yeah.
Lord, like
Yeah.
there's so many cool parts. And yeah, that was the problem. It was like, all right, we're going to keep it simple. We all agreed, like we got to keep things reasonable. We can't go over the top with this. But then all of a sudden you do something and it's like, well, you can't not do that. No,
Yeah.
I heard it. And also, this is supposed to sound like us. And that was like a big trick in doing this album was like, how do we make it sound like us? And how do we make it sound almost like we're playing on a weekend? So like the drums are hot, the vocals are like there and thick, and we wanted it to kind of feel like us. And part of us is like the drums are awesome.
Yeah.
That's been the huge staple for Sunco's band, even pre-Origin, for a long time. Is like we have these killer fills, and the drums are overwhelmingly loud in a good way.
Sorry.
And like, I don't know. It's like, why would we tame that so much on this album to where we don't sound like us?
Well, we also wanted to like write parts that we would, because that I think was an interesting approach too, to where it's like when you were putting together the vibes of each song, you came from the point of view of like, how is this going to feel to play on stage? And like, I don't know that we've ever done that before in writing. The music was like, we'd never take a second to be like, okay, how is this going to translate on stage? Is this song going to be fun to play on stage?
Well, that was something I kept saying. I mean, to you on occasion, you less so because the drums are like so important, so vitally important to everything. But like, especially
Obviously.
to Lee,
Of course.
yeah, especially to Lee and even Evan, a lot of times I'd be like, hey, don't write something you're going to hate playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do you hate this? Do you hate playing this? Are you going to, because if we play this for the next couple of years, like, I don't want you to be stuck with something that you're like, I really wish I would have done something different. And I don't feel like we have a lot of those parts on this album.
Every time I listen through the album, I have a new favorite song and I have a new favorite part. Like it is evolving for me every single listen. So I think I think every person on stage has that. I think every person on stage has that feeling. Sorry, I'm not good with
I
mics.
was like, put your mic up. Put your mic up, as I don't put my mic up. These things are heavy.
Yeah, they're adding up.
There is an observation you make, because I'm always on the front row, hype man. And when you guys do a new song, whether it's a Lake song or whatever, you could sense the excitement of the band. Hey, we got a new song that we like, and but there was something different about Love Like when you guys did it Sunday. Like, there was not just this excitement. Like, you could see like just a different level of enthusiasm, a different level of pride that you could see, as opposed to, like, we're not covering a song and even making it better. We're doing our music because it is better. The message is there. The talent is obviously there. But that's what fires me up, man, is when I see you guys fired up. And you're always fired up. But, I mean, there was something about, again, watching you guys bring to the unveiling of your hard work and seeing how the congregation responds to it. It was noticeably different, man, noticeably. And I think that reverberates and echoes and ripples from the stage into the audience. And there was a moment, man, where they were like singing along and you could see they were like trying to learn this song.
It was super cool.
It was really, really awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Rita pointed this out. In years past, when we would introduce a new song, there was a certain amount of timidity to presenting it, to where it's like, we wrote a new song, we think you're gonna like it, And I think all of us, as a collective, are super proud of this album, and so I think there is a certain amount of just more confidence and pride behind it. And again, it was songs that were written with our community in mind. Like, how is this going to present to our community? And so I think there's just a lot more confidence behind this music. Yeah. We've all been playing together at least a decade, but some of us even longer, to where it's like we have gained a little bit more confidence in our ability to write music. It's still very vulnerable. Like, there's definitely a vulnerability to it. Like, I think this song's awesome, but hopefully you guys do too.
I have these moments in the middle of the night where I'll wake up and I'll be like, what do we do? More and more. Is that song okay? Like,
but that's how we know it's always a good product, is if you're panicking at the end.
Yeah, just a little bit in the middle of the night. I'll wake up in a cold sweat. So Troy, you had a hand in this song, but you've gotten to listen to the rest of the album. I'm curious. I haven't asked you. Like, do you have any parts that stand out to you? Is there a favorite or a least favorite aspect to the thing?
Yeah, I think what I wrote to Rick, as I listened to the song all day one day when he sent me the link. I just had it on in the gym while I was on the treadmill, just doing yard work, whatever. And what stood out to me was, like, because I listen to some modern worship stuff just to kind of get a feel for what's out there. And it's really interesting to see the trend in Christianity. And it's getting more and more, what was the word I used? Like, pick me, God, pick me.
More and more.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a great, but it's like a pick me mentality. And I said, this song has like this rest to it, this call to rest in what I would say, like, the unveiling of God's truth, which is, you've already been picked. Yeah. You've already been chosen. You've already, and it goes back to you've always already been loved. Now sing about that. Live in that gratitude. Like,
yeah, it like exudes confidence.
That's
like
right.
This,
I don't need the whole cheerleader thing. It's like God is cheering for us, and that's the difference. And it's a beautifully orchestrated album, arranged album, and I think it mirrors the message of Suncoast in music. And that's because, that's why I love Chase's line. I don't need a pulpit. Give me these moments. That's right on, brother. Because what I think that is, and why I like even No Invitation, I'm excited for people to hear it. It's like, it's not a rejection of truth. It is a reorienting of it. It is an embracing of the mystery of who God is, as opposed to trying to impose a type of certainty upon it. And that's where the space to exist and to live and to just rest in that identity. Like, I'm loved always, already. And that's the whole album, dude. The whole album is just, what I got from it is rest, enjoy, and love God. That's it.